Hi Taurus, welcome to your week ahead for June 17th to June 23rd, 2019. This reading is going to be for all the Taurus in their Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter sign placements. Taurus, I already shuffled the cards and laid out your spread, so let's get into your reading, Taurus. Taurus, the overall energy of the week for you is you have transformation. So, Taurus, you're focusing on making big changes, and with all that fire around her, you're looking to take action. So with transformation here, I feel like you are looking to either let go of what doesn't serve you or seeing what you can do to change things that's going on in your world. Now, what's connected to transformation here is your overall energy, Taurus, is you have three cards that came out that's connected to that. You have partnerships. So you're looking to make changes with your partnerships or a significant love relationship, business relationship, work relationship. But there's a focus on partnerships for you, Taurus, where you're looking to make changes or you may be looking to release a partnership or certain relationships that you have been dealing with. You also have, Taurus, danger. So I feel with this energy that this is more about you being concerned with being careful about how you approach making changes in the relationships or partnerships that you're focused on, that you either want to release or that you want to make significant changes around. You also have rebirth, which is the phoenix. So with this energy, I feel, Taurus, is that this is you making decisions to rise up, where you want to liberate yourself. You want to have a renewal for yourself. You no longer procrastinating. You are wanting results now. And so you are looking to rise up and make significant changes with particular partnerships that perhaps even have been a danger to you in some way, where you've been being mistreated or there's been some sort of, where you have felt hurt in some way. That and with the phoenix here, I feel that this has been something that's gone on for quite some time for many of you, where you're at a place where some changes got to happen. You need to transform it, or you're going to, because you're saying no more. Now, what's around this is you have the snake, and what's underneath that is you do have the lily, Taurus. And so I feel that you have been, as it has to do with partnerships and relationships, whether in love or in family, at work, business, or whatever relationships that are significant for you at this time, you have been dealing with betrayal, deceit, lies, jealousy. You've been dealing with complications, difficulties in your relationships. There's been jealousy, there's been envy, there's been the tit for tat, back and forth arguments, um, not being able to see eye to eye. And I feel that with the lily here, you now have gained more wisdom and understanding for yourself, where you now have come to a place that you want serenity, you want more harmony. Now, I feel that, Taurus, you also played into this, where you were part of the problem. Perhaps you're dealing with someone that you're bound to, perhaps through divorce, where or through you having children with someone and you have to deal with this person because of it, and because you may have issues or issues with each other, um, for how you were treated or how things went or are going or have been. There's resentment, due to the deception, due to the lies, due to the betrayal. There may even be jealousy and envy, and as a result, Um, it was complicated, and you didn't work to make it harmonious. You added to the complication where maybe you didn't want to talk, or you didn't want to make things work out, or make them where there's a cooperation either by that person you're dealing with or persons you're dealing with, or on your part, or both. But there's just where there was just a lot of toxicity going on. And I feel like even though there was a lot of toxicity, or there is a lot of toxicity for your Taurus, that what you have gained wisdom in around this is that you're the one that ended up on the short end of the fucking stick. Like, even if you were being difficult, it didn't serve you. Or if you were trying to do your part, somehow that shit still didn't serve you. And so you're looking now at how to transform your relationships and circumstances with others. And with danger here, I feel that you're tired of the complications, you're tired of perhaps any ruin that you have been experiencing, or delays, or not being able to move forward. Perhaps you haven't even been able to let shit go, or someone hasn't been able to let shit go as it has to do with you. And now you just want to have a rebirth. You want to liberate yourself. Perhaps you're trying to review, reflect on your relationships and partnerships, and see how to change it and come from a more grounded place, and focus on being creative and trying to be more relatable, trying to be more receptive, trying to have more empathy towards who you're dealing with, and in turn to receive it, where perhaps you focused on trying to apply more kindness to the situation, so that there's more progress where progress wasn't happening, and that lack of progress was affecting you more than it could have been affecting who you were dealing with. And you want that to stop, because you want to be done with the toxicity. Now, on the other hand, Taurus, what you could be dealing with is if you were harboring toxic, negative emotions and feelings towards anyone who hurt you, betrayed you, deceived you, and you weren't able to let that go, I feel that this is the time now in this week where you are able to release it, or you're able to transform and transmute those feelings and emotions, and focus on a place where of healing, that you are healing from it, and you're able to move on or move forward. Now, you do have the star underneath, so there is healing here. You focused on healing, or you needing to heal, as it has to do with these partnerships. And you focus on using caution, because you now realizing what matters most is for you to have your rejuvenation. You're focused on what matters most is for you to have your healing, for you to have your fulfillment, you're happy. And you are now looking at being empowered. This feels like you becoming more empowered. And because you're becoming more empowered, because you're healing, there's more of an optimism, more confidence, the ability to let go of how you were treated, or the ability to deal with the way that you've been treated, with the focus of changing it. Now, let's take a look at the energies, Taurus. So, the overall energy that is your focus, Taurus, is you do have the Seven of Coins with the Ace of Cups. Earth energy and water energy here. So with these energies here, Taurus, I feel that this is you focused on putting in the energy and effort to have more of a return in your investment with what you choose to invest your energy and effort into in your relationships, with the focus of also making sure that you're reciprocated. You are now working on gaining more opportunity or reciprocation in some way, but you are working on pumping in new emotional energy where you are focused on more self-love, and you're working on that. You're building on that now. You are working on building opportunities in your relationships through changing how you work on those relationships so that there's progress, so that opportunities can occur. And the reason why, Taurus, is because you have the King of Coins with the Page of Cups. And with the King of Coins and the Page of Cups here, with the King of Coins, I feel this is, you have for a very long time done things in a very stubborn, very inflexible way where you didn't see any progress. Things weren't working, things weren't building, you weren't seeing the fruits of your behavior or the way that you view things or through your belief systems. And so you were very cold, and you couldn't see any progress. Nothing was being nurtured here. And I feel that this went on for a very long time. Not just on your end, but at with those that you deal with, or as it has to do with a particular or significant relationship, where you were just being stubborn and set in your ways, perhaps due to the fact that you felt you were lied to or deceived or betrayed or cheated on, or perhaps you could have been jealous or envious of what was going on with the other person that may not was going on for you. But whatever the reasons for you being closed off, for you not having the progress, for you not building what you want, and it's not because you weren't trying. You were trying, because this is the king. You were trying to build. You thought you were being mature. You thought you were creating, but what you were doing was creating more stagnation, lack of progress, because you were being inflexible and stubborn. And it's understandable, because you were hurt, you were betrayed. And when you're stubborn and inflexible and not receptive and reluctant to allow for progress or change, nothing can move forward for you in your circumstances or in your relationships. And this could also be what you were experiencing, or both. But now you're at a place that I feel you've gained wisdom and understanding of this, and that you're also tired. You're tired of the toxicity. You're tired of not having the progress. You're tired of things not moving forward, or you're not getting the success and building what you want, and achieving and attaining what you want in the partnerships that you're dealing with. And so I feel with this Page of Cups here, this is you having a new creative spark. This is you realizing that that has to change. So this transformation is also about you changing, you realizing that you could have been your worst adversary here, where you were getting in your own way because you held on to the negativity of the hurt and the pain that was caused against you by others or who you're dealing with. And you're now seeing that for you to have progress, you needed to heal, you needed to release, but you also needed to change your perspective and focus on healing, focus on growth, focus on receptivity, and focus on being creative. Even if you were getting resistance, you may have behaved in a way that added to that resistance. But either way, you were not getting the progress. You were not being able to achieve what you wanted. But now that's changing. You're changing. And because you're changing and healing and having more hope and optimism and letting go of negativity and toxic energy and resentment, you now have a new creative spark where you're focused on doing different. So what's coming towards you, Taurus, is you do have the King of Cups in the Tower. So with the King of Cups in the Tower here, this is you focused on how to make drastic changes. But you're coming from a place of after being able to get control of your emotions and find emotional balance, to really gain understanding in the situation, what part you play, the and understanding others. And because of that, you are now looking at how to make drastic changes for yourself and come out of the adversities, come out of all of the anxiety, the lack of movement, the lack of freedom. And you're looking at how to reset things in your partnerships and relationships. You're looking to release what doesn't serve you. But this is as a result of you gaining that epiphany, that understanding with this tower. And so you're having a more mature approach through you healing your emotions, through you releasing the emotional toxicities of betrayal, of deceit, of lies, of being cheated on, and even your own self-sabotage of you trying to be forceful and have pushback or show resistance, and learning from this and seeing that this wasn't affording you the progress, and it wasn't allowing you to build, and it wasn't allowing you to gain the success that you thought. But also you being able to have the understanding with who you're dealing with, who they really are. And now you understand how to perhaps deal with the individual or whomever you're dealing with, understanding that there's a need for more caution. There's a need to have a more delicate approach, a softer approach that allows for you to have the receptivity that you weren't getting before in order for you to gain what you want in a situation and see the changes occur. I also feel here that this is you working on yourself, but also working on your relationships, being more practical, being more grounded, Taurus, or needing to be, and figuring out how to have more of a positive response in these relationships or a particular relationship so that you have more success. But it requires you changing, and it requires through you changing having that ability from there to be able to change what's going on in your partnership and relationships. And so, how you handle what's coming towards you is you have the Ace of Coins with the Nine of Cups. And so, this is you focused on having satisfaction and wish fulfillment because you figure out how to generate what you want, how to gain what you want, how to create what you want now. You now have figured it out how to build what you want, how to bring the things that you want in your relationships to happen into form, how to secure what you want to happen in your partnerships and relationships when you couldn't do that before. But it takes, or it took you needing to change, and then you implementing change in your relationships. Perhaps you realizing that you need to show more kindness, show more openness, and realizing that that too is a form of strength. Being more assertive, speaking up without being aggressive, being more cooperative without feeling that you're being taken advantage of. And I feel that you had trouble with finding your way here because, Taurus, you have experienced being taken advantage of, or feeling controlled, or feeling like you got the short end of the stick, or just things never went your way, and just everybody seemed to get what they wanted and you didn't, and that you just had to accept it and deal with it. And that would cause, a lot of negative feelings, cause a lot of pain, and it can cause rigid behavior, but a rigid behavior that didn't serve you. But you learned from that, and from you learning from that, you've now become creative in your ability to navigate in your dealings with others, how to go about interacting in a way that you get the cooperation, the respect, and gain what you want in a situation without you feeling that your boundaries have been crossed or violated. And so your outcome, Taurus, is you do have the King of Swords with the Chariot. And with the King of Swords here, Master of a Suit, this is you getting control of your mind, getting control of your thoughts, getting control of how you communicate, getting control of how you plan things out. This is you having more logic. This is you also getting to a place of being more firm but fair, not letting people walk over you either, but also not closing yourself off to where you don't get anything done for yourself, but figuring out how to communicate, keep your boundaries intact, but also execute your plans and get what you want. And with this Chariot, this is about you needed to figure out how to get control of your emotions and focus on your goals and how to overcome the obstacles that you're dealing with using your intellect and your force of will, but in a way that is balanced, in a way that afforded you progress, in a way that allowed you to have victory. So this is you realizing that you had to get your emotions under control. You had to be better at how you steered in your objectives. This is you figuring out that you needed to be a little more patient and tempered. This is about you realizing that you may need to be more prudent in order to be effective. This is you focusing on how to reach your aims through proper measures, being better at how you calculate a situation or the person you're dealing with or persons you're dealing with, being more sensible, having more self-control, releasing fears and worries, releasing being stubborn, but at the same time standing in your personal power and having emotional strength and courage and being resilient and being reasonable and focusing on getting what you want in a situation without sabotaging yourself, without creating more adversities between yourself and another, knowing how to be firm but fair, how to be effective in expressing yourself. I see all this blue here, and with this is about you communicating, being your authentic self, not being shy, speaking up, being able to express yourself. But also with all this green here, Taurus, this is you experiencing a lot of heart healing. This is you learning to grow in self-love and compassion. This is you coming out of being isolated and feeling alone. And this is you being empowered and being able to navigate within relationships by figuring out how to balance things out and move forward. Because see, here in this image, everybody's kind of all over the place, right? And so you had to get the clarity, realize that you had to get yourself under control to get your objectives under control in order to get your needs met. There was a need for you to be more focused. There was a need for you to get clear. And I feel that this is what you're doing, or this is what you're going to need to do so that you can cut away the things that aren't serving you, so that you can keep things under control, so that you can get things under control that may be out of control, so that you can have forward movement and progress. So let's take a look at what your guidance is, Taurus. You have two cards that came out. You have reclaim your power. Reclaim your power. Reclaim your power, Taurus. And change what's going on in your relationships and in your world. And if this is even to do with your money and finances, this is also you focus on being empowered and changing what's going on with your money and finances circumstances. And focusing on coming up with a plan that allows you to have victory and move forward and getting things under control. But with reclaim your power as your guidance and lesson this week, it says, note one reason why you give away power in your everyday life, and then ask yourself if that situation is worth losing your peace of mind. Your goal is to reclaim your power in a positive and mindful way. And that's what I feel that you're doing here in the week ahead, Taurus. So good for you. Reclaim your power. You can be positive and assertive. Not let your feelings control you. Release any stubborn, inflexible attitude that is not serving you. And be determined on how you can go about reaching your goals by operating in your power. Your other piece of guidance is you have spend the day with God. And this is spend the day with God, or whatever it is that you have your faith or belief placed in, Taurus. And with this is your guidance. Your lesson here and guidance is this is the day for you to spend with God. A day of prayer, a day of silence. Imagine that your entire world is a sacred chapel. Every inch of your life is filled with grace and the presence of the divine. Your goal to visualize yourself in the company of heaven every minute of the day. You are supported by the universe. You are not alone. You are not doomed. And you can stand in your personal power. And you can move on from the regrets and the pain and the mistreatment and the betrayal that you've experienced and that you may experience. But it takes you choosing to bring about transformation in those situations, to either change it, to release it first within yourself, and then how you can release it in your circumstances and relationship. I hope these messages help. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel, and thanks for watching. Bye.